from the Jeff Ferris Center on the campus of the University of Central Arkansas. It'll be power against power as Delta goes up against Wabaseka. As Wabaseka comes in this game with a record of 35-5, while Delta comes in at 28-3 under first-year coach in Steve Wyatt. Good evening, everyone. This is Mike Harrison with our entire CSN Sports crew as we're getting ready for a barn burner between Wabaseka and Delta. I'll be back with the starting lineups in just a moment as you're watching the Creative Sports Television Network.
Just a fraction of what we spend dining out could help pick up the tab for a good cause. A small part of what we spend on sports could help keep our community in shape, or some of our time on the phone could help answer society's problems. Won't you get involved? By giving 5% of your income and volunteering 5 hours per week, you can really help your community. This year, make it your goal to give 5. What you get back is immeasurable.
The animals in the forest. If they could talk, what would they say? They might say, be careful with fire in the forest. Just like Smokey says, only you can prevent forest fires.
Here's a tap for the first quarter. It's won by Wabaseka as they miss it on a turnover, and Delta comes down, and Dwayne Phillips puts it up and in to make it 2-0. But Wabaseka came back to tie it up on a 15-footer by Stacey Harris, and now the score is pushed out to 6-4 in favor of Delta on a 15-foot jump shot by Ferdinand de Griffin-Reed. So de Griffin-Reed with his first 2 points as he scored 102 points in last week's Class A state basketball tournament. 34 a game as was his average last week. Here's Wabaseka driving. Here's a shot put up there by Stacey Harris. No good. And we have a whistle and a foul is going to be called on the play, or was it knocked out of bounds? It was knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Delta. And Delta will go on defense. Wabaseka goes to the basket to the left. In the lane, 15-foot jumper, good. Rattles in for Stacey Harris as Harris scores. And that ties it up at 6. As that makes the second time this game has been tied. And now here's a shot put up and in. And putting it up and in was Nakia Harris for 3 as Harris bombs it from 21 feet out. And it's 9-6 in favor of Delta. Wabaseka with the basketball. The Eagles, coached by Asa V. Thomas, as he's been down at Wabaseka for a long time, does just an outstanding job. Here with the basketball out front is Stacey Harris. Harris goes to the right wing to George Barnes. Here's Barnes, bounces to the right side to Stacey Harris. Harris comes to the left wing. Right in front of our CSN microphone displayed here nearly at midcourt at the Ferris Center. Here's a pass to the right side, feed down low on the baseline. Here's a shovel underneath, shot put up and in on the left side of the lane by Stacey Harris. Harris with 6, 9-8 the score. 4:08 left to play here in the first quarter. Here's a long pass in the left corner. With the basketball now is Harris. Feeds it down low and deflected in the lane. And it's taken away by Wabaseka. Here comes Wabaseka moving quickly down the floor. Harris will kick it way out front. Now to the right side, back to Harris. Fakes left, goes right. Now goes to the left wing to Stephen Harris. Left corner, here's a 3 put up there. It's short, no good by George Barnes. And it's rebounded by Delta. Here comes Delta on the move. In the lane, as carrying the ball was de Griffin-Reed. And after he lost the basketball, he went for the loose ball, and he's called for the reaching in foul. That foul on Ferdinand de Griffin-Reed will be his first. And that's the first team foul against Delta. Wabaseka has committed 2 fouls here in the early going. 3 minutes, 37 seconds left in the first quarter. Delta leads by 1 over Wabaseka by the score of 9-8. Bringing the ball down the floor in backcourt is Stacey Harris as he talked with Coach Asa V. Thomas what play to run. He steps across the center strike, now gives way out front to Stephen Harris. Bounce to the left side to George Barnes. Here is Barnes with the basketball. Goes to the right wing, working with the basketball on the right side is Stacey Harris. Here's Harris now bouncing it now to Stephen Harris. Harris works with it. Right side, now kicks way out on the right wing to George Barnes. Barnes in the right corner now to Stacey Harris. Harris bounces it on the baseline. Wendell Gaddy kicks it out now to George Barnes, who will set up the play. Here's George Barnes looking at that Delta defense. Wabaseka trying to slow it down because in one game in the state tournament last week, Delta scored 104 points. On the right side with the basketball is George Barnes. As Delta in a 2-1-2 zone defense. To the right baseline. Here's a 10-foot jumper. Good for Stacey Harris. As Harris has scored 8 points here in the first quarter. It's a 1-point lead for Wabaseka at 10-9. Turnaround shot by Eddie Phillips. No good, and he is fouled. So Eddie Phillips is fouled on the play by Wendell Gaddy. That'll be his first, third against Wabaseka. And now Coach Asa V. Thomas, the head basketball coach of the Wabaseka Eagles, wants a timeout. With 2:22 left in the first quarter, as we pause for the Ferris Center on the campus of the University of Central Arkansas, it's Wabaseka 10 and Delta 9. This is the boys' overall basketball tournament on CSN.
Time for You Lost Your Life with your hosts, Crash Dummies, Vince and Larry.
Hi. Hello. And welcome to the show that proves if you don't buckle your safety belt, the loser is you.
That's right, Vince, and by not buckling up, you could end up in places you never dreamed.
Like traction!
Or the emergency room!
Plus, Larry, if you're not buckled up, you could maybe take a ride in a beauty like this. Stay tuned!
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
I was going to take a job with that engineering firm in New York. I got a better offer. I'm building schools overseas with the Peace Corps. The pace is a little slower than New York, but here I'm getting grassroots experience I couldn't get anywhere else. The way I look at it, the world can wait 2 years for another 40-story smoked glass high-rise.
Peace Corps, the toughest job you'll ever love.
At the free throw line, free throw is up and in by Eddie Phillips. And Phillips is now 1 for 3 from the line. And we're tied at 10. Third time this game has been tied as Eddie Phillips just seeks the first shot. Next one up and in. Eddie Phillips 2 for 2 from the line as Phillips is 2 for 2 from the charity strike. And it's a 1-point lead for Delta in the seesaw battle at 11 to 10. The lead has changed hands 4 times. Long pass down the floor, and it goes out of bounds off the fingertips of Wendell Gaddy. It'll belong to Delta. Full court press by Wabaseka with 2:13 left here in the first quarter. Mike Harrison with our engineer. Back at CSN Control and John Hayes, our technical director, Britt Joyner, and our statistician is Lewis Ambers here on the broadcast tonight. Baseline 10-foot jumper, no good. They battle for it. It's deflected. It goes out of bounds. It's picked up now by DeGriffin Reed in the lane. 10-footer rolls around, and it's off by DeGriffin Reed, and it's rebounded by Delta Stacey Harris. Make that Wabaseka Stacey Harris. And Harris carries the basketball. So that'll be another turnover against Wabaseka. That'll be the Eagles' third turnover in this basketball game. 1:48 left here in the first quarter. And bouncing it in will be Delta. Right side driving underneath. Here to shot put up, and it's rejected. Holy cow. Dwayne Phillips is going in. And it was blocked out of bounds by Stacey Harris. A rejection you'll never forget. And getting the basketball is Delta, as they'll kick it in now to Dwayne Phillips. Phillips tries to give to DeGriffin Reed. Phillips gets it back on the baseline underneath. Puts up a shot. It rolls in. But I don't believe it'll count. A charging foul is assessed to Dwayne. That's Dwayne Phillips. We asked him for the broadcast, do you want to be called Dwayne or D-Wayne? He said, I want to be called D-Wayne because I'm from D-Delta. As throwing the ball inbounds will be Wabaseka. Kicking in will be Freddie Kohlklager as he kicks it in. And it'll be a full court press by Delta. Here's a bounce pass across the strike left side to George Barnes. Here is Barnes angling to the left wing. Goes on the baseline. Here's a shot put up there by Gaddy. It's deflected. He gets it back, puts it up again. No good. And it's pulled down by Eddie Phillips for Delta. Here's a pass right side across the strike. Here's Dwayne Phillips. Now goes in the lane. Here's a shot on the right baseline. No good. The shot is missed by Nakia Harris. Rebound up and in is Ferdinand DeGriffin Reed. DeGriffin Reed with 4. And it's a 3-point lead for Delta, 13 to 10. And driving, here's Wabaseka in the lane. The whistle and the foul. Now they're starting to move up and down the floor like racehorses here in the midway mark for the end of the first quarter. The foul is called on Dwayne Phillips, and that'll be his second. Third team foul against Delta. At the free throw line shooting will be Stacey Harris, as Harris will get 2 shots. First one is up, and it rolls off the rim. No good. As one more shot coming for Harris. Harris has scored 8 points here in the first quarter for the Wabaseka Eagles. Stacey Harris, a senior, 6'1" senior, has great jumping ability with a great jump shot about 15 to 20 feet out. Free throw is up and in. Stacey Harris, 1 for 2 from the line, has 9. And that cuts Delta's lead down to 2, 13 to 11. Delta with the basketball as here comes the Warriors across the strike. Into the circle. Working on the right side of the key. Here's Stephen Harris. Feeds on the high post. And the ball is loose. Taken away by Wabaseka. 30 seconds left. A basket here could tie it. In the lane now. Here's Harris feeding underneath. Shot put up and in. Beautiful shot put up and in. as Freddie Kolklager gets his first two, and we're tied at 13. Right wing, here's a 20-footer good by Nakia Harris, his second three of the game. And it's a 3-point lead for Delta at 16-13. Baseline, here's Stacey Harris, and Harris is double-teamed and fouled. And Stacey Harris will go to the free throw line. He's what makes it go for Wabaseka. And he'll go up to the free throw line shooting. Harris with 9 points here in the first half. A 3-point lead for Delta at 16-13. With only 5 seconds left here in the first quarter. Well, earlier tonight, County Line advanced to the semifinals of the girls' overall tournament. They'll be playing Friday night against the Bryant Lady Hornets as County Line came up with a big victory as they defeated Class B champion in Parkdale. Only 5 seconds left here in the first half. Now they say instead of going to the line and shooting, it wasn't enough fouls, so it's a player control foul. So Wabaseka gets it on the left wing. Here is Stephen Harris to the left corner. And out of the left corner is Freddie Kolklager. He can't get the shot up as the horn sounds in the first quarter of play. And at the end of one quarter play, our score from the Ferris Center on the campus of the University of Central Arkansas, the site for the overall tournament. The score reads Delta 16 and Wabaseka 13. This is the high school overall basketball tournament on CSN.
The Creative Sports Television Network has great sporting events like this.
Steps up in the pocket. The pass is thrown. It's caught. Tripped up at the 5-yard line.
Clock driving. Here's Strickland. Fades down low. Adam Smith stuffs it home. The 15, the 10, the 5. Hurdles in the air. Fumble on the play. It's inside the 2.
Steve Weedor just picked up the tee, and the jacket just snapped the ball. The place down. The kick is up. It's long enough. It looks like a beauty. It is good.
Football, basketball, baseball, you name it. CSN Television is now at your fingertips.
To 13. That's a 3-point lead for Delta as we enter the second quarter, as Wabaseka will get the basketball at midcourt. They'll throw it in. Kicking in is Freddie Kolklager as he throws in backcourt to Stacey Harris. Coming around on the right side is Harris, works on the right wing, kicks it out to Stephen Harris. Harris looks at that Delta defense, a 2-1-2 zone defense. Here is Stacey Harris to the left corner. Working in the left corner with it is George Barnes. Barnes on the baseline, driving, shot put up off the glass. Good move by Stacey Harris, and he puts it off the glass and in on the left side of the baseline. 11 in the game for Harris, and it's 16-15. Wabaseka within 1. Here's a feed down low. Phillips, baseline, 5-foot jumper, got it. Eddie Phillips with 4. And it's a 3-point lead for Delta at 18-15. 7:17 left here in the first half. Coming down quickly, Wabaseka in the lane. Here's a 15-foot jumper off the rim, missed by Wendell Gaddy. Rebound by Delta. 7:07 left to play here in the first half. Don't forget, we'll have the tournament scoreboard update at halftime with John Hayes. Rolls around, and the shot is going in for DeGriffin Reed. DeGriffin Reed with 6, and it's 20-15. Driving, here's Stacey Harris, puts it in the lane off the glass. It's good. Harris with 13, 20-17 the score. Here comes DeGriffin Reed from 3. It's in and out, no good from 22 on the right side of the key. Rebound by Wabaseka. Stacey Harris with the rebound. So we're seeing a confrontation of Stacey Harris for Wabaseka tonight against Delta's Ferdinand DeGriffin Reed. Bringing down the ball to Stacey Harris. Across the lane pass. Out front now to Gaddy. Bounce in the lane. Underneath shot put up and in by Freddie Kolklager. Kolklager with 4. And that cuts Delta lead down to 1. Now it's 20-19 with 6:13 left to play here in the first half. Working with the basketball across the strike on the right side of the key. Here's DeGriffin Reed. Goes to the right wing. Over to Don Love. Back out front. Here is Harris. Goes up from 22. Hits the lip of the iron. No good. Rebound on the baseline. Shot put up there. It is no good. And it is missed by Brian Meadows, the 6'2 senior who just came in the game. for Delta, and we're going to have a whistle and a pushing off foul against Delta. So a pushing off foul called against the Delta Warriors. It'll be called on Ferdinand de Griffin-Reed, his second personal foul. The fourth against Delta. I'll make that the fifth against Delta. And we'll walk to the Wabaseka free throw line, and shooting will be Wabaseka's Wendell Gaddy. No, it's not going to be Gaddy. It's going to be Stephen Harris. We'd like to welcome our listeners. Listen in on an outstanding radio station here in the state of Arkansas that have followed Delta and state tournament basketball action, KDDA in Dumas. Or Craig Eastham. And its entire staff does an outstanding job. You should be proud of that station, fans, and the southeast part of the state, because they really do a bunch for sports in the state in southeast Arkansas. Free throw is in. Next one is also in. Stephen Harris gets 2 free throws. It's a 1-point lead for Wabaseka, 21-20. Here's a feed underneath the baseline, and putting it up and in is D. Wayne Phillips. He has 6 now. A 1-point lead for Delta, 22-21 in this seesaw battle. Bringing the ball across the strike on the right side is Wendell Gaddy. Gaddy now kicks it to Stephen Harris. Feeds on the baseline. Here's a 10-footer. Good. As Gaddy puts it in. His first 2, Wabaseka by 1, 23-22. As the lead has changed hands 7 times now. On the right baseline, here's D. Wayne Phillips. Goes across the lane to the left side. Here's a 3. It is off, no good. As a shot is missed by Nakia Harris. And we're going to have a pushing off foul in the lane called against Delta. It'll be on Eddie Phillips. That's his first, the 6th against Delta. And we'll walk to the Wabaseka free throw line. And shooting will be Stephen Harris. Or is that Stacy Harris? No, that's Stacy Harris shooting at the free throw line, as he'll be shooting. Stacy Harris with 13 here in the first half. Free throw is up and in. Stacy Harris, now 2 for 4 from the line, has 14 in the game. One more shot coming. It's up, it's in and out, back in. 15 for Harris. And it's 25-22. Here's a bouncing backcourt, working with the basketball. Here is to Griffin-Reed. In offensive court, back to the Griffin-Reed. Goes to the left side of the key. To Stephen Harris to the left corner, faking. And walking is called on D. Wayne Phillips in the left corner. Another turnover against Delta. They've turned it over now 4 times here in the first half. 4:49 left to play before halftime, and it's a 3-point lead for Wabaseka at 25-22 after Delta had a 5-point lead at 20-15. Wabaseka with the basketball across the strike. Out front is Stacy Harris. Here's Harris, bounces it on the right side, and coming out with it now is George Barnes. Bounce to the left wing. Over now to Stephen Harris. Here's Harris now giving to the left wing to George Barnes. Here is Barnes with the basketball as he'll bounce it right side. Behind the back pass, and here's a shot put up on the layup. It is no good as it is missed by Wendell Gaddy. Gaddy with an uncanny ability, getting that ball behind his back and then throwing it up off the glass. But Wabaseka loses it out of bounds. That's 4 turnovers against Wabaseka. Here comes Delta. They turn it over. Picked up by Wabaseka. 3-on-1 fast break. Underneath shot put up and in. Scoring is George Barnes. He has 4. And it's a 5-point lead for Wabaseka. Here's a 3 out of the left corner. No good. It's missed by D. Wayne Phillips. Here's a fast break. Stacey Harris drives in the middle of the lane for Wabaseka, and he's fouled. And Wabaseka is pushing it up and down the floor in the transition game as a foul is called on the play with 3:45 left here in the first half. And shooting will be Stacy Harris as that last foul was called on Nakia Harris of Delta, his first of the game. Timeout call for Delta. 3:45 left in the first half. The score, Wabaseka 27 and Delta 22. This is the high school overall basketball tournament on CSN.
Everyone makes mistakes, Matthew. Don't pay pay any attention to the other children.
For this bright 6-year-old, the ABCs have never been as simple as ABC. Where do you go when you're different from the other kids? He got help at a Center for Learning Disabilities. They got help from the United Way. All because the United Way got help from you. The United Way. It brings out the best in all of us.
The man, and dog.
For years, this man thought if he just tried hard enough, he could teach himself to read. Where do you go when you can't do it alone? He's getting help in a literacy program for adults. They got help from the United Way. All because the United Way got help from you. The United Way. It brings out the best in all of us.
5-point lead at 27-22. A 5-point lead in the basketball game for the Wabaseka Eagles as they come in this game tonight with a record of 35-5, while Delta with a record of 28-3. At the free throw line shooting will be Stacey Harris. Harris is 3 for 5 from the charity strike tonight as he'll get 2 shots. Free throw is up and the free throw is rolling in there. Stacey Harris now 4 for 6 from the line, says statistician Louis Ambers, and he'll get 1 more. Free throw is up there and the shot is good again. 17 for Harris. It's 29-22, a 7-point lead in the basketball game for Wabaseka. This is their largest lead in the game. In fact, this is the largest lead by either ball club here in the first half. The Griffin Reed double teamed way out front. Pass over on the left side. It goes to D. Wayne Phillips, drives the lane, and the ball is knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Wabaseka. 3:26 left here in the first half. Throwing the ball inbounds will be Ferdinand de Griffin Reed. Trigger man on the right side of the basket to the left corner. Here's a 60-foot jumper. It's short, no good. And it's rebounded by George Barnes. Here is Barnes with the basketball. He is in backcourt now to Stacey Harris. Right now, Delta is cold from the field. They were pretty warm to start this game as they jumped on top by 5. Here's Stacey Harris in the lane, and double dribbling is called on Harris as the basketball will go over to Delta. 5 turnovers here in the first half against Wabaseka. Delta will get the basketball in backcourt. Half-court press employed by Wabaseka. Goes in backcourt to Ferdinand de Griffin Reed. Here is de Griffin Reed across the center strike with 2:59 left in the first half. Passes to the right side. Head of the circle. Going on the left side. Here is D. Wayne Phillips off the glass. No good. It's rebounded by de Griffin Reed up and in. De Griffin Reed with 8. And that cuts Wabaseka's lead to 5 at 29-24. Across the strike quickly is George Barnes. Gives to Stacey Harris. 2:34 left to play first half. Pass to the right side. Over on the right wing to George Barnes. Bounces on the baseline. On the right wing, kicks it way out front now. Here's Stacey Harris. Here is Harris with the basketball. Head of the circle is Harris. Goes to the right side. And in the right corner, here's a feed on the baseline. It goes down to Stephen Harris. It goes out of bounds. Last touched by Wabaseka. That's their 6th turnover. Delta with the basketball. They're looking for a run here in the last 2 minutes of the first half. 29-24 the score. Pass to the left corner. Here's a feed in the lane to Phillips. Ball deflected, and it's taken away by Stacey Phillips for Wabaseka. Now it's taken back by Delta. 10-foot jumper baseline. De Griffin Reed, good. 10 in the game for de Griffin Reed. And Delta within 3 as they're easing back closer. 29-26 the score. Ball deflected in the lane. Stolen by de Griffin Reed. Long pass down the floor, driving. D. Wayne Phillips up and in. D. Wayne Phillips with 8. And Delta within 1 as Coach Asa V. Thomas, the coach of Wabaseka, is up off the bench. Pass down the right side in offensive court. Here is Stephen Harris. Harris out front now to George Barnes. Now Barnes gives way out front to Stephen Harris again. Now to George Barnes on the right wing. Goes up from 22. Gets a big kick on the back of the rim. No good. Rebound by Stacey Harris. And we're going to have a whistle and a pushing off foul called against Stacey Harris. That'll be his first. Correction, make that his second. And that's the 4th team foul against Wabaseka. A 1-point lead for Wabaseka, 29-28, but Delta with the basketball. In the backcourt with it, bringing it across the center strike on the right side is to Griffin Reed. Working with the basketball now. Here's to Griffin Reed, head of the circle. Goes to the right side. A new player in there now for Delta. In there is Cleve Mosby, the 5'8 freshman. Feet underneath, putting it up and in. It's Phillips. Eddie Phillips now with 6. Delta with a 1-point lead at 30-29. 50 seconds left in the first half. Pass on the right wing, and it's deflected and off the fingertips of Wabaseka's Jimmy Flowers, the 5'11 senior who just came in the game. And the basketball will go over now to Delta. Delta leads by 1, 30-29. They did trail by 7 at 29-22. So they've reeled off 8 straight points. Out to Ferdinand de Griffin Reed. A screen is set. De Griffin Reed to the right side. Kicks it out to Phillips, back to de Griffin Reed. Here's de Griffin Reed being guarded real closely by Wabaseka's player over there on the right side, and Flowers. And now here on the left side with it is Dwayne Phillips. Gives now to de Griffin Reed. 15 seconds left in the first half. Delta will go for the final shot of the first half of play. Driving in the lane. Here's a shot put up there. It's in by Cleve Mosby. Mosby scores to give Delta a 3-point lead. It's stolen now. De Griffin Reed from 30 feet hits the lip of the iron. No good. And we're at halftime. As Delta has the halftime lead. As we pause here in the first half of play, our score at halftime is Delta 32 and Wabaseka 29. Stay.
Mom, I'm tired. Please go home now.
2 months ago, the only job this woman could take was one where she could take her son with her. What do you do when there's no one to watch him but you? She's getting help at a daycare center. They got help from the United Way. All because the United Way got help from you. The United Way. It brings out the best in all of us.
Hey, how you doing?
Look what I do in school today, Grandpa.
The heart, the aorta, the left and right ventricles, and the auricles.
Grandpa, did you want to be a doctor when you were little?
Well,
dreams need never again be forgotten.
You would have been the best doctor, Grandpa.
Please support the United Negro College Fund.
Can I be a doctor, Grandpa?
Here at halftime, or halftime score, it's Delta with a 3-point lead over Wabaseka, 32-29. At the end of the first quarter, Delta led by 3 at 16-13. In that first quarter, Delta had as much as a 5-point lead, and they held a 3-point lead at the end of the first quarter. So in the second quarter, Delta and Wabaseka went at it tooth and nail. Wabaseka had a 7-point lead at 29-22, so Delta scored the last 10 points of the first half to have a 3-point advantage here at halftime at 32-29. Let's take a look at the individual scoring, then we'll take a break, then go to CSN Control with John Hayes as he'll update us in college basketball coming up Thursday in the NCAA basketball tournament on Tournament Update. First of all, for Delta individual scoring, it's Ferdinand de Griffin Reed. In double figures, he has a total of 10 points on 5 field goals. 10 for de Griffin Reed. Next in scoring with 8 points is Dwayne Phillips, as he has 8. After that, scoring 6 is Nakia Harris on a couple of the 3-point shots, 6 for Harris. Also 6 points in the first half for Eddie Phillips. And adding 2 points in the first half is the freshman Cleve Mosby. Now for Wabaseka, they're paced here at halftime by Stacey Harris, the 6'1 senior. He has a total of 17 points in the first half of play. Next in scoring with 4 points is George Barnes on a couple of field goals. Also, Freddie Koklager has 4 points on a couple of field goals, and Wendell Gaddy has a field goal for 2 points. Our halftime score, Delta 32, Wabaseka 29. We'll go back to CSN Control with tonight's tournament scoreboard update with John Hayes right after this word from your local station. This is the boys overall basketball tournament on CSN.
Are you enjoying this CSN television presentation and would like to see more? CSN TV has other sporting events that are at your fingertips. If you're interested in more CSN TV presentation, please send $1 for a CSN TV program guide for other games and sporting events now presently in the CSN TV archives file. The Pippin Roast, the Barton Upset, or the UALR TCU matchup. Send $1 for postage and handling to the CSN TV program guide, Post Office Box 1266, Conway, Arkansas 72032. CSN TV, now at your fingertips.
Back here at halftime, or halftime score in the boys game of this overall basketball tournament. It's Class A champion Delta 32 and Wabaseka 29. So it's a 3-point lead here at halftime at 32-29 for Delta over Wabaseka. Let's take a look at those halftime stats in the first half of play, as we show that Delta 11 out of 15 for 73%. Wabaseka 9 out of 18 for 50%. At the free throw line, 8 out of 9 for Delta for 88%. And for Wabaseka, 3 out of 5 for 60%. In three-point range, it was Delta. From three-point range was 2 for 3 for 67%. Wabaseka in the first half of play was 0 for 3 for no percent. Rebounds, 9 rebounds for Delta, 10 for Wabaseka. And in turnovers, 10 turnovers against Delta the first half and 9 against Wabaseka. Well, we'll return with more in just a moment, right after this word on CSN.
I don't know if you'll remember me, but I'll never forget you. I'm Mr. Signorelli's daughter. I didn't think about what would happen if he went into cardiac arrest. I didn't realize that at 6 a.m., a nurse would call the shots and save his life.
If you have the smarts and the guts to study biology, chemistry, anatomy, and psychology, call 1-800-962-NURSE. If caring were enough, anyone could be a nurse.
You're pathetic, you little brat.
Child abuse is also known by some other words.
Jerk! You moron! You're so clumsy.
Words like these can hit as hard as a fist.
You were never born. I hate you.
What you say to your children can determine how they feel about themselves.
You slob. You're worthless.
And how they feel about you. Get the picture. Stop using words that hurt. Start using words that help. For helpful information, contact us.
Back here at the Ferris Center, halftime score, Delta 32, Wabaseka 29. We're speaking with probably one of the deans of Arkansas sports writers in the state of Arkansas, and Wadey Moore of the Arkansas Gazette. Wadey, what's your thoughts about the first half?
Well, Mike, the game plan that Coach Thomas came in was to be patient, set up not good shots, as he said, but great shots. I think they're doing that. They had only 3 turnovers in the first 14 minutes, but they committed 8 total for the first half. What they're going to do is go back to being patient, deliberate, take those good shots. Right now, at the very end, Delta made a good run, and I think that's the difference right now.
How do you see these teams going up against 4A or 3A later this week?
I think the key for both teams, there's some excellent athletes out there. It's hard. They have to have the heart. They have to want to win it. Because West Memphis has an excellent ball club. They're not very big, but they're fast. And they do things almost near perfect, I would say. They have excellent talent in just about every position, and especially at the guards.
Real quickly, final comment before the second half, but who are you picking in the girls and boys to win this thing?
Since I'm not covering girls would be easy. Bryant. I don't think there's anyone really in the state that can touch Bryant. I think the boys is really wide open, Mike, but right now I would go with West Memphis.
Okay, Wade, thanks for joining us here.
Very much.
Wade Moore at the Arkansas Gazette in Little Rock. We'll be back with the second half right after this word on CSN.
Randy Travis on strings. Branford Marsalis on the horn. Paul Schaefer on keys. Carly Simon on lead. There are a lot of different parts to play in the American Red Cross. Play your part.
Every year, thousands of people are killed with a frying pan. Reduce your intake of high-fat fried foods and help reduce your risk of cancer and heart disease. For a free booklet on low-fat eating, call 1-800-EAT-LEAN.
Quarter action. It's Wabaseka with the basketball. Here's the three from out front. Swish! George Barnes gets it started in the third quarter for Wabaseka with a 22-footer and a three-point play. He has 7, and it's tied at 32. Fourth time this game has been tied. Here's Delta driving in the lane. No good. It's rebounded. Getting the rebound is Don Love, and we have a whistle and a foul is called on the play. As this foul is called against Wabaseka, as this one is going to be called on Wendell Gaddy. That's his second first-team foul against Wabaseka. Throwing the ball inbounds. Trigger man on the left side of the basket will be Ferdinand DeGriffin-Reed. DeGriffin-Reed now kicks it way out front. Goes now to D. Wayne Phillips. Left wing DeGriffin-Reed from 22. It's in and out, no good. They battle for it. Underneath with the rebound as Wabaseka goes to Stacey Harris. Harris down the floor on the right side. Fakes right, goes left in the lane, scoops it up and in. Stacey Harris with another outstanding move in the lane. He has 19. And that makes the score 34-32, a 2-point lead for Wabaseka. Here's a 15-footer right wing is up there. The shot is no good as it's missed by Nakia Harris, but it's rebounded by Eddie Phillips up and in. Eddie Phillips now has 8, and we are tied once again for the 5th time in this game at 34. Working with the basketball across the center strike. Here is Stacey Harris. Harris way out front. Goes to George Barnes. Here's Barnes with the basketball. Backs up 2 or 3 steps. Goes to the right wing. Here's a pass to the right corner now to Stephen Harris. 15-footer on the baseline. No good. And pulling it down on the left side of the lane off the rim is D. Wayne Phillips. Phillips goes to the Griffin-Reed on the right wing. Goes in the lane. 15-foot jumper. Got it. To Griffin-Reed with a dozen. 2-point lead for Delta, 36-34. 5:46 left to play in the third period. Bringing the ball across the strike is Stacey Harris. Stops his dribble as he's guarded real closely. Here's a pass as it goes to Freddie Kohlklager. Bounce on the baseline. Feed underneath to Kohlklager, lays it in on a good feed from Wendell Gaddy. Kohlklager with 6. And it's 36 all as we have a whistle and a foul is called on George Barnes. That's going to be his first, second against Wabaseka. 5 minutes, 23 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Here at the Ferris Center, it's tied at 36. With the basketball, throwing the ball inbounds right in front of our CSN broadcast position Don Love. Love kicks it in on the left side to Nakia Harris. Bounce to the right wing to Griffin Reed. Fakes. Goes in the lane. Puts up a 14-footer. It rolls in. The Griffin Reed with 14. And it's a 2-point lead for Delta at 38-36 with 5 minutes left, third quarter. Bringing the ball across the center strike will be George Barnes. Delta in a 1-3-1 zone defense now. Bounce to the right corner to Stephen Harris. Feed down low. Here's a shot put up and in by Carl Klager. Carl Klager with 8. And it's tied again at 38. Ball deflected. It's picked up by Delta. Baseline. D. Wayne Phillips off the glass. Left baseline guard. D. Wayne Phillips now with 10. 2-point lead for Delta at 40-38. 4:24 left, third quarter. Across the center strike with the basketball again. Here is George Barnes. Angles to the right wing. Looks inside. Pass to the right corner. Bounce on low post right side to Wendell Gaddy. To the right corner to Stephen Harris. Kicks it way out front to Stacey Harris, who will set up the play. Working with it right side of the key. Here's a pass to the left wing to Stephen Harris. Way out front now to Stacey Harris. Here's Harris feeding it way out front to Wendell Gaddy. Bounce to the right side. Here's a 3 from 25. Swish! George Barnes with another 3. And Wabaseka regains the lead by 1 at 41-40. 3:44 left, third period. In back court, Griffin Reed passes right wing to Don Love. Feeds underneath. Shot put up off the glass by Eddie Phillips is up and in. As Phillips gives Delta a 1-point lead, 42-41. As the lead has changed hands now 11 times in this game. Bringing the ball in backcourt, it goes to Stacey Harris as he gets it from George Barnes. Back to Stacey Harris, head of the circle. Here's a pass to the left wing. Harris going on the high post. He doesn't get the basketball. As to Griffin Reed, staying with Harris real closely. Boy, isn't that a one-on-one combination tonight. Pass to the right corner now to Stephen Harris. Here's a feed down low, and we have a whistle. And a bumping foul from behind is called against Delta. It'll be on Eddie Phillips for pushing off. That'll be Phillips' second personal. Second team foul against the Delta Warriors here in the second half. Trigger man throwing the ball inbounds for Wabaseka is Freddie Kohlklager. To the left corner now. Kicks it way out front, left side of the key. Here's George Barnes from 22, no good. And it's rebounded off the rim, right side of the lane by Eddie Phillips. Gives to the Griffin Reed across the strike. 2:50 left, third period. The Griffin Reed kicks it way out front now to Stephen Harris. Left baseline. Here's a feed underneath. Turnaround shot off the glass. Rolls off. It is no good by Phillips. Rebound by Wabaseka. Here they come running with the basketball. Stacey Harris feeds baseline. Shot put up off the glass. It is no good by Stephen Harris. They battle for it. It goes out of bounds. It was last touch by Wabaseka. And Delta will control in backcourt, leading by 1 at 42-41. It goes into the Griffin Reed. Stops his dribble. Head pass to the left corner now. Baseline. D. Wayne Phillips with a shot off the glass. 5-footer, no good. Phillips gets it back. Now here's a shot put up and in by Phillips. Phillips with a dozen. And it's a 3-point lead for Delta at 44-41. 2:06 left, third quarter. Wendell Gaddy across the strike. Is way out front now to Stacey Harris, who will set up the play with only 1:57 left here in the third period. Now working with the basketball, dribbling with his left hand is Stacey Harris on the left wing. Left corner, feed down low baseline. 8-foot jumper. It is good. Turnaround shot by Stephen Harris. He has 4. And with 1:38 left, we have a bumping at midcourt. It'll be on Wendell Gaddy. That will be Gaddy's third personal foul and the third against Wabaseka. So Delta will get the basketball at midcourt, leading by 1 at 44-43. The ball is inbounded now, working with the basketball. Here is Nakia Harris. Bounces to the left side to Griffin Reed. Passes left corner. The Love back to the Griffin Reed over on the right side to the right corner now. To D. Wayne Phillips to the Griffin Reed left corner. loses the basketball as we're going to have a violation as the Griffin Reed is called for walking with the basketball after it was deflected. A turnover against Delta. They have turned the ball over now 11 times in the basketball game. 1 minute, 17 seconds left in the third period. 44-43 the score as Delta with that 1-point lead. Don't forget, fans, Saturday night, it's the boys and girls overall championships for the state of Arkansas. Airtime, 6:50 with the girls championship, and then the boys championship at 8:20. That's Saturday night for the 9th year in a row here on CSN. Here's Wabaseka with it in the right corner, driving on the baseline. Here's a 10-foot jumper. It's short, no good. It's Miss Bagatti. It's deflected and trying to save it out from out of bounds. It's Wabaseka's Wendell Gaddy, but he was out of bounds when he touched the basketball. 57 seconds left, third period. Delta by 1 at 44-43. New player checking in the lineup now for Wabaseka. It'll be Delta's basketball to Griffin Reed, trying to kick it across the strike. In the lane, 10-footer by D. Wayne Phillips is no good, and he is bumped and fouled on the play. As this foul is going to be called on Wabaseka's Freddie Kohlklager. That's his first. And that's the 14th foul against Wabaseka here in the third quarter. At the free throw line shooting will be D. Wayne Phillips. He has a dozen. It's up. It hits the lip of the iron, no good. One more shot coming for D. Wayne Phillips. The winner of this game will play West Memphis Friday night in the semifinals at 8:30. Free throws up and in. 13 for D. Wayne Phillips. And it's Delta by 2, 45-43. 40 seconds left, third quarter. Bringing the ball across the strike now is Stacey Harris. Works on the right side of the key. Kicks in the right corner. Here's a three put up out of the right corner. Its shot is no good by George Barnes. Rebound by Delta. The Griffin Reed on the left wing. Kicks it way out front, right side of the key. Here's Nakia Harris with a 22-footer in and out, no good. And it's rebounded by Wabaseka, getting the rebound for Wabaseka. And here comes a long shot driving the lane. Shot put up and in after a long pass, Kohlklager. He has 10. It's tied at 45. Ball deflected. Here's loose on the floor with 1 second as the horn sounds to end the third quarter. And we are deadlocked through 3 periods. At the end of 3 quarters of play, our score is Delta 45 and Wabaseka 45. This is the boys high school overall tournament on CSN.
Coming to Arkansas July 1st, 1991, a new innovation in sports television. Have you ever thought, gee, I wish that game was on TV? Well, now it will be. The Creative Sports Radio Network, Arkansas's all-sports network since 1977, is going statewide on television. Starting July 1st, 1991, the Creative Sports Television Network will have the best of sports not yet seen on TV in the state. You'll have high school events from football to track, college basketball to baseball, not to mention sports banquets and press conferences. It's coming. CSN Television on July 1st, 1991.
Game is tied at 45-45. Winner of this game advances to the semifinals of this overall boys basketball tournament Friday night at 8:30 against West Memphis. Wabaseka gets the basketball to start the 4th period. A lot of hawking defense put on by Delta in the lane. Here's a running 10-footer, rims in and out. It's no good by George Barnes. Rebound up and in. And that makes it 47-45. Down at the other end, here's D. Wayne Phillips. He put it in as D. Wayne Phillips scores. And that makes it tied again at 47. In backcourt, Wabaseka trying to beat the press. Here's a pass Across the strike here, shot put up there, it's in. As it is put up and in. And scoring is Stacey Harris. 49-47, the ball is blocked by Wabaseka, and it's taken away by George Barnes. Here's a driving shot put up, it is no good. And the ball is knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Wabaseka. And now they say it's going to be a goaltending. A goaltending violation gives Stacey Harris the basket, as he was goaltended by Eddie Phillips, who tried to block it, but he blocked it on the downward arc. So Stacey Harris now with 23 in the game. 4-point lead for Wabaseka at 51-47, as both teams picking it up here in the fourth and final period. And we're going to have a whistle in backcourt and a foul called against Wabaseka. Wabaseka, the Eagles, by 4 points. A 4-point lead over Delta, 51-47. The foul was called on George Barnes, his second. That is the fifth against Wabaseka, as Delta will go to the line and shooting the 1-1 for the Delta Warriors. Free throw is up, and the free throw is good. So one more shot coming up now for Don Love, who gets his first point in the ball game. If Love makes this, he'll bring Delta within 2. As he eyes the goal, he puts it up there, and the shot is rolling off, no good. Rebound by Wabaseka. Here comes Stacey Harris, moving, drives the lane, he lays it up and in. Coast to coast for Stacey Harris. He has 25. It's a 5-point lead for Wabaseka, and Delta wants a timeout. 6:39 left to play in the game. It's Wabaseka 53, Delta 48. This is the high school boys overall basketball tournament on CSN.
Rough Miles, the Philadelphia story. In certain parts of Philadelphia, things were rough. Areas were run down, crime and drugs were out of hand, and honest folks felt like prisoners in their own homes. People decided to work with police to turn things around. Weekly meetings led to cleanup projects and folks working together. Soon the neighbors had their neighborhood back. That's what happens when people and police work together. Write this down and I'll show you how you can help take a bite out of crime.
People in the National Guard and Reserve make up over 40% of our nation's combat-ready forces. It's a job that requires them to face some very big challenges. So please, don't make their biggest challenge asking you for time off to do their training.
Mr. Aldridge, you, got a minute?
Be a hero. Give your employees the freedom to protect ours.
Turnaround shot in the lane is good, but Stacey Harris, he has 27. 7-point lead for Wabaseka. 55-48 baseline. Here's a 10-footer short by Dwayne Phillips on the left baseline. And he is fouled on the play. As the foul is called on the left baseline, it'll be called on Stacey Harris, his third. 6 team fouls against Wabaseka. At the free throw line, shooting will be Dwayne Phillips. Free throw is up, and it's in and out, no good, as it's missed by Phillips, as it's taken away by Wabaseka. Wabaseka with the basketball across the strike left side. Wabaseka has equaled their largest lead of this game. They lead by 7 at 55-48. Here's a bounce way out front to Stephen Harris. Goes to the left wing to George Barnes. 5:57 left to play in the game. Bounce to the right corner now to Wendell Gaddy, that is. In the lane now. Here's a ball deflected, taken away by DeGriffin Reed, and he is fouled from behind by Freddie Colklager. That's going to be his second, and the 7th against Wabaseka. And Ferdinand de Griffin Reed will go to the free throw line. He'll be shooting a 1-1. Fans, don't forget tomorrow night more girls basketball action in the girls overall, as Lamar, the winter class 2A, takes on the winter class 3A Batesville. Airtime 6:50 tomorrow night, with John Riddle doing the play-by-play right here on CSN. Timeout Wabaseka with the score. It's Wabaseka 55, Delta 48. This is the boys high school overall tournament on CSN.
There are people out there who need help, but don't have anyone with the right skills and knowledge to turn to for help with their taxes. You or your organization can be there for someone who needs help. Volunteer your time, and the IRS will volunteer the training to help make someone's taxes less taxing.
Some people think Social Security is just for retirement.
But if a serious illness or injury puts you out of work, Social Security can pay disability.
Even if you're years from retirement.
And it would pay your family survivor's benefits if somehow your life gets cut short.
So what benefits can you expect? Find out by calling 1-800-2345-SSA.
For your own personal earnings and benefit estimate statement. Social Security, it's not just for retirement.
It's for life.
Throw is up and in by de Griffin Reed. As he puts it in, he has 15 points in the ball game now. One more shot coming for de Griffin Reed. It's up there. It's good. De Griffin Reed makes 2 for 2 from the charity strike. It's 55-50. Bringing the ball in the backcourt for Wabaseka is Stephen Harris. Now gives to Stacey Harris, as he's a quarterback on this ball club. Brings it across the center strike. 55-50 the score. Bounce pass, slow post left side. And we have a whistle, and trying to turn around is Wendell Gaddy with a shot, but he has fouled before he can throw it up. And the foul is going to be called on Eddie Phillips, as that will be his third. That makes the third team foul against Delta here in the second half. So it'll be Wabaseka's basketball. Trigger man will be Freddie Kolklager. Goes in the left corner now to Wendell Gaddy. Out front, here's a three. Good! George Barnes with his third three of the game. He has 13. And it's an 8-point lead at 58-50 in the lane. Here's de Griffin Reed with a 12-foot jumper. De Griffin Reed with 18. It's 58-52. Long pass down the floor, driving. Here's a shot put up there, no good, as it's missed by Wendell Gaddy. As Gaddy is fouled by de Griffin Reed, as they threw a long one down the floor on the right side, and Gaddy was taking in on de Griffin Reed, as de Griffin Reed is called for the foul. That's his third. 14 fouls against Delta. 5:07 left to play in this ball game. 58-52 the score, as Wendell Gaddy walks up to the free throw line. He'll be getting 2 shots. First one is up. First one is off to the right. No good. One more coming now for Gaddy. 58-52. He'll push it up there, and the shot is in the back of the iron. No good. And getting the rebound is Kolklager, and he is fouled on the play by D. Wayne Phillips. That will be his third. And that makes the 15th foul against Delta. So, Freddie Kolklager will go to the line. He'll be shooting 2, as he was fouled in the act of shooting. A 1-and-1 coming up for Freddie Kolklager. He puts it up there. The shot is short, no good. And it's missed by Kolklager. They had 3 free throws, and Wabaseka misses every one of them. And here comes de Griffin Reed in offensive court for Delta. On the right side, here's Mosby. Mosby gives on the left side. Now to de Griffin Reed. 4:48 left to play. Here's de Griffin Reed. Feeds low post left side. Turnaround shot by D. Wayne Phillips is up and in. Phillips with 17. 58-54. 4:38 left to play in the game. Wabaseka will bring it across the center strike, as Asa V. Thomas, the coach of Wabaseka, is up off the bench. Stacey Harris loses the basketball. It's stolen back by Harris. He throws it out of bounds. As they say, it was deflected out of bounds by the Griffin Reed. And folks, he didn't even touch the basketball. Timeout is called on the floor with 4:23 left to play in the game. Our score as we pause is Wabaseka 58, Delta 54. This is the boys high school overall basketball tournament on CSN.
Every year, thousands of babies die from choking, suffocating, or other breathing emergencies. Just imagine how many of them could be saved if only they came with instructions. Please learn American Red Cross Infant and Child CPR. American Red Cross. We help you help others.
There was a time when people helped their neighbors, and together they built a stronger community. This spirit lives on today in NeighborWorks, a unique partnership of local residents, business, and government leaders. NeighborWorks volunteers have rebuilt over 100,000 homes, restoring pride to millions of neighbors. So help a neighbor and a nation. Join NeighborWorks, reversing decline, rebuilding pride.
Wabaseka will throw the ball inbounds in backcourt. Here is Stacey Harris to the left corner. Ball deflected on the high post to the right side. Going up with a 10-foot jumper. It rolls off the rim. No good by Gaddy. They battle for it. It's last touch by Wabaseka. And Delta will get it with 4:07 left to play. Wabaseka leads by 4. They led by 8 just a few minutes ago. All right, here comes Delta across the strike. Mosby throws to the left side. Driving underneath, and here's a shot put up there, no good. As a shot is missed by Dwayne Phillips as he drove all the way under. And missed the reverse layup. Now here is a 3 by Barnes out of the left corner, no good. Rebound off the glass up, no good by Cole Klager. And a whistle and a foul is called on Eddie Phillips, and if it is, that'll be his 4th, and it is his 4th. That's the 16th foul against Delta. 3:43 left to play. Who will play West Memphis Friday night? Whoever it is, that will be yeoman work, because West Memphis, an outstanding team, knocked off a couple of good teams in Pine Bluff and Little Rock Parkview in the 4A state tournament. Whoever wins this one will play West Memphis Friday night at 8:30. Cole Klager at the free throw line. He puts it up. The shot is rolling off. No good. And Wabaseka cannot hit their free throws here down the stretch in the fourth quarter. So one more shot coming for Freddie Cole Klager. He puts it up there, and the shot is in and out. No good. As Wabaseka has missed 5 straight free throws. Here comes Delta. Left corner here working with it is Dwayne Phillips. Make that Dwayne Phillips with the basketball. Goes now to the Griffin Reed baseline. 10-foot jumper. It's no good. The Griffin Reed gets the rebound, puts it up, and it's knocked out of bounds. And a foul is called against Wabaseka. As this foul is called on Wabaseka, and getting a hand on the basketball that time for Wabaseka is Gianardo Grant. That's going to be his first. 18 fouls against Wabaseka. At the free throw line shooting will be Ferdinand de Griffin Reed, and he puts it up and in. De Griffin Reed with 19 as he's 3 for 3 now from the line. It's 58-55. One more shot coming for Ferdinand de Griffin Reed. He puts it up, and the shot hits the lip of the iron, no good. Rebound underneath, and getting the rebound is Gianardo Grant for Wabaseka. 58-55 the score, 3:16 left to play in the game. In the lane, here's a pass to the right side. Barnes from 3. It is in and out, no good. Ball batted around. Here's Stacey Harris rebounding for Wabaseka. Bounce to the right side. In the lane, ball deflected. Underneath, shot put up and in by Gianardo Grant. Gianardo Grant with its first 2. 5-point lead at 60-55 for Wabaseka. 2:50 left to play. Way out front with the basketball is Don Love. To Griffin Reed. Right corner. Here's a three by the Griffin Reed. It's too long. No good. Air ball misses. Rebound by Gaddy. Feeds it off left side. Wabaseka in control with it. 2:35 left. They lead it by 5 at 60-55. They're working with it way out front. Here's Stacey Grant. Grant circles around. And a foul is going to be called as Stacey Grant is fouled on the play by Don Love. That'll be his first and the 7th against the Delta Warriors. At the free throw line shooting will be Stacey Harris, who has pumped in 27 points tonight. As Stacey Harris will go to the free throw line, he'll be shooting a 1-and-1. Stacey Harris at the free throw line. It's up, it's good. Harris breaks the free throw miss jinx. They had missed 5 in a row. As Harris puts it in, he has 28. And he'll get one more shot. It's up and it is good, but Stacey Harris, as he has 29. 62-55. Wabaseka by 7. Full court press by Wabaseka. Here's a pass going now to Phillips. He beats the 10-second time limit. Pass on the left baseline off the fingertips of Dwayne Phillips, out of bounds. And Wabaseka will get it as they lead by 7. And a timeout is called by the Delta Warriors. As Coach Stephen White will talk it over with his Warriors. 2:10 left to play. It's Wabaseka 62, Delta 55. This is the boys' high school overall basketball tournament on CSN.
Just a fraction of what we spend dining out could help pick up the tab for a good cause. A small part of what we spend on sports could help keep our community in shape. Or some of our time on the phone could help answer society's problems. Won't you get involved? By giving 5% of your income and volunteering 5 hours per week, you can really help your community. This year, make it your goal to give 5. What you get back is immeasurable.
The animals in the forest. If they could talk, what would they say? They might say, be careful with fire in the forest. Just like Smokey says, only you can prevent forest fires.
In the backcourt, Wabaseka with the basketball. Beats the press of Delta. Here's Stacey Harris way out front. 1:58 left to play. Here is a pass on the left side. Working with it now is George Barnes. Barnes dribbles between heavy traffic. Feeds off on the baseline, and walking is called on Wabaseka. So walking is called against Wabaseka. Delta will get it with 1:48 left to play. You know, Delta's not out of this game because they scored 104 points last week in a state tournament game. Ball is knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Freddie Kohlklager as it goes out of bounds. Delta's basketball in offensive court with only 1:42 left to play, and Wabaseka up by 7 at 62-55. Here's Phillips going up with a shot, ball deflected. It goes out of bounds. Last touch by Delta. Wabaseka will get the basketball. 1:34 left. 62-55. It goes in backcourt. Working with it is Stacey Harris. Over on the right side to George Barnes. They beat the press. Over down the left side is Wendell Gaddy. And we have a whistle, and a holding foul is called against Nakia Harris of Delta. That will be his second personal foul. 8 team fouls against the Delta Warriors. (62-55). A 7-point lead in the basketball game. At the free throw line shooting will be Freddie Kohlklager. Fans fans just right around the corner. Arkansas Traveler Baseball. This year CSN will be broadcasting 64 games, 39 home games and 25 road games out of state. The first game on April the 12th, Arkansas at Shreveport, from Shreveport, Louisiana at the fairgrounds. Airtime at 7:15, April the 12th, over many of these CSN stations. Free throw is up and in by Kohlklager. He has 11 in the ball game. And one more shot coming for Kohlklager as he's 1 for 3 from the line. He'll put it up there, and the shot is hitting the lip of the iron, no good. And it is rebounded by Delta. Delta needs some threes. Here's DeGriffin Reed with the basketball way out front. 1:14 left. DeGriffin Reed goes in the lane. 14-footer. It's short, no good. DeGriffin Reed gets his own rebound and puts it off the glass and in. DeGriffin Reed with 21. 63-57. We have a whistle and a foul called against Delta. They need to stop that clock if they're going to get it back in this, because they trail by 6 right now at 63-57. Our technical director here tonight at the Jeff Ferris Center on the campus of the University of Central Arkansas is Brett Joyner. Also our statistician Lewis Ambers, and our engineer at CSN Control tonight, John Hayes. At the free throw line shooting is Stacey Harris. He puts it up. It's good. Harris with 30 points in the game. And that makes it 64-57. One more shot coming. For Stacey Harris. Now we have another player checking in for Delta. It's Nakia Harris, who's a pretty good three-point shooter. He comes back in the ball game as he replaces Don Love. Free throw is up. It is good. Harris make that Stacey Harris with 31. 65-57. DeGriffin Reed drives the baseline. Here's a shot put up. It goes in. It'll count, and a foul. DeGriffin Reed puts it in. He has 23 as he was fouled on the play, and he'll go to the line shooting for the three-point play the old-fashioned way. That foul was called on Stephen Harris, his first. That's the 9th against Wabaseka. And Ferdinand DeGriffin Reed with 23 points looks for the old-fashioned three-point play now. It's up there. The shot is good. DeGriffin Reed with 24. 65-60. 55 seconds left to play in the game. Here's a long pass down the floor. And trying to steal is Delta, and a foul is called against Delta's Stephen Harris. So Harris commits the foul. That's his second. That's the 10th team foul. Correction, that's the 5th personal foul against Harris. So Harris has just fouled out this game. And he becomes the first person to foul out with only 53 seconds left to play in the game. 65-60 the score, and we have a timeout on the floor. 53 seconds left to play. It's Wabaseka 65, Delta 60. This is the boys' high school overall basketball tournament on CSN.
Time for You Lost Your Life with your hosts, Crash Dummies, Vince and Larry.
Hi. Hello, and welcome to the show that proves if you don't buckle your safety belt, the loser is you.
That's right, Vince, and by not buckling up, you could end up in places you never dreamed.
Like traction!
Or the emergency room!
Plus, Larry, if you're not buckled up, you could maybe take a ride in a beauty like this. Stay tuned!
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
I was going to take a job with an engineering firm in New York. I got a better offer. I'm building schools overseas with the Peace Corps. The pace is a little slower than New York, but here I'm getting grassroots experience I couldn't get anywhere else. The way I look at it, the world can wait 2 years for another 40-story smoked glass high-rise.
Peace Corps, the toughest job you'll ever love.
Here's a free throw up there. The free throw is no good, and it's rebounded by Delta. Delta with the basketball. Now they're trying for three. They trail by 5. Here's a three put up. It is good! Dwayne Phillips Phillips bombs it from 21. He has 20. 65-63. 35 seconds left. Driving underneath. Here's a shot on the baseline, and he can't even get it off as George Barnes is really hammered on the right baseline by D. Wayne Phillips. That's his fourth. The ninth against Delta. 31 seconds left to play. At the free throw line shooting will be Wendell Gaddy. If Gaddy misses one of these two, then Delta will have a chance to tie. Gaddy puts it up there. The shot is no good. Off to the right. 31 seconds left. 65-63 as Delta trying to battle back. And they have a chance now. After Wabaseka nearly had it in the hip pocket. Free throw up. It is in and out. No good. Rebound Delta. Getting the rebound is Eddie Phillips. 28 seconds. 27-26. DeGriffin Reed across the strike. Drives the lane. Puts up 10-footer off the glass. It's good. DeGriffin Reed with 26, and we're tied at 65. 17 seconds left in the lane. Here's a 10-footer. It's no good as it is missed by Stacey Harris. And the clutch player for Wabaseka will go to the free throw line. He'll be shooting as the foul was called on Nakia Harris. His fourth personal and the 10th against Delta. And at the free throw line shooting will be Stacey Harris, as he'll get two shots. Game is tied at 65 with only 13 seconds remaining. The crowd yells. Stacey Harris bounces it 4 times. Puts it up. It is good. Stacey Harris with 32 points in the game. And Wabaseka by 1 at 66-65. One more shot coming for Harris. He pushes it up. The shot is good again. Harris with 33. 67-65. Wabaseka by 2. 10 seconds left. DeGriffin Reed. He'll be the man, and the ball is knocked out of bounds. And they say DeGriffin Reed touched it last, as DeGriffin Reed is trying to talk to the official. So Wabaseka will get the basketball with 7 seconds left, and Delta wants a timeout. 7 seconds left to play. Wabaseka 67, Delta 65. This is the boys high school overall tournament on CSN.
Hello, hello, this is Foster Miller and Rowe.
Hello, hello, what would you like to know?
Hello, hello, the shipment may not go. The payment came too slow. Hello, 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 hello.
Did you ever stop to notice all the awkward positions we get ourselves into when using the telephone? The telephone creates some terribly tense situations and some painfully pinched nerves. If you use the telephone a lot, there's a good chance you're suffering a cervical neck problem, which may produce headaches and other structural health disorders. That's why it's wise to seek professional attention to relieve the stress and protect your health.
Hello, hello, my boss says I should go. Hello, hello, my appointment's tomorrow.
A public service message from the American Chiropractic Association and your family doctor of chiropractic.
Hello, 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 hello.
2-point lead, 67-65 for Wabaseka. They'll throw the ball inbounds. Delta will probably foul here as soon as the ball is thrown inbounds, as the trigger man will be Stacey Harris. Now it's going to be someone else instead of Harris, as they line up and they try to break loose in backcourt. It goes in backcourt, and here's a pass and a whistle, and a foul is called with 4 seconds left on Ferdinand DeGriffin Reed as he fouls Stacey Harris. He fouled the wrong man. Stacey Harris has been to the free throw line tonight 13 times, has connected on 10 of them. So Stacey Harris will go to the free throw line with 33 points to his credit tonight, and he'll have a chance to put it away for Wabaseka if he makes both of these free throws. A 1-1 coming. Free throw up by Harris. It rolls her off. No good. And it's rebounded. Griffin Reed across the strike. Shoots at one. It is good. It counts. It counts. And Griffin Reed puts it in. Delta with a desperation shot puts it in the head of the circle by Griffin Reed as he is being mobbed here at the Ferris Center on the campus of the University of Central Arkansas. Holy cow, what a shot by Ferdinand Griffin Reed. Listen to this crowd. Stacey Harris was at the free throw line. He was shooting a 1-and-1. He missed the free throw. Griffin Reed got the rebound with 4 seconds. Came across the center strike with 2. Let it fly ahead of the circle with 1. And Griffin Reed is being mobbed. They are treating him like a hero, and he is a hero in the town of Delta, Arkansas tonight. Ferdinand Griffin Reed with a three-point shot from 21 feet, head of the circle. And Delta wins it in dramatic fashion by the final score of 68-67. And right now they're putting Ferdinand Griffin Reed high on the shoulders as he is being paraded all around here at the Ferris Center. The final score, Delta wins it by 1. We'll be back with our postgame in just a moment.
Everyone makes mistakes, Matthew. Don't pay any attention to the other children.
For this bright 6-year-old, the ABCs have never been as simple as ABC. Where do you go when you're different from the other kids? He got help at a Center for Learning Disabilities. They got help from the United Way. All because the United Way got help from you. The United Way. It brings out the best in all of us.
The man.
And dog. For years, this man thought if he just tried hard enough, he could teach himself to read. Where do you go when you can't do it alone? He's getting help in a literacy program for adults. They got help from the United Way. All because the United Way got help from you. The United Way. It brings out the best in all of us.
Back here at the Ferris Center on the campus of the University of Central Arkansas, a dramatic game tonight. 68-67, a one-point victory for Delta on an outstanding game and an outstanding shot by Ferdinand Griffin Reed. Ferdinand, how do you feel right now?
I feel great. It's great. Okay.
What does this mean to you?
It means a whole bunch. Well, at first, we was talking about we didn't want to go home and everything. I'm like, we were having a good time. I'm like, I wasn't ready to go either. And when we got here, we need to stay here because we deserve it. This is our best team, and we deserve to stay, I believe.
Now, you had the ball with 4 seconds, came down the floor, shot it with 1 second. Did you feel like it was going to go in?
I felt it. I do.
Is this the greatest shot in your career?
Yes, yes it is. Yes, it is.
Have you had any other big shots?
Oh, yeah. Finals of state came down to the last minute, and I did it then, and I did it now.
Let me ask you this. When they rode you, they gave you a hero's ride here. How'd that feel?
It felt great. I hate being that high, though, but it felt great. It felt really great.
Ferdinand, congratulations to you.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Ferdinand Griffin Reed, the star of this game, as he had a big shot 21 feet out, as he won the game for Delta by the final score of 68-67. Our postgame will continue in just a moment. Right after this word, this is the boys' high school overall tournament on CSN.
Are Are you enjoying this CSN television presentation and would like to see more? CSN TV has other sporting events that are at your fingertips. If you're interested in more CSN TV presentation, please send $1 for a CSN TV program guide for other games and sporting events now presently in the CSN TV archives file. The Pippin Roast, the Barton Upset, or the UALR TCU matchup. Send $1 for postage and handling to the CSN TV program guide, Post Office Box 1266, Conway, Arkansas 72032. CSN TV, now at your fingertips.
Final score tonight, 68-67, as it's Delta coming from behind to win this game over Wabaseka, the B champions, Delta, the Class A champions. They've got a great team. They go up against West Memphis in the semifinals Friday night at 8:30. Let's take a look at the individual scoring in this game. First of all, for Delta, they were paced in this game tonight by Ferdinand de Griffin Reed with 29 points. His average last week in the state basketball tournament of Class A, he averaged 34 a game last week. He had 29 tonight to lead the way. Also in double figures with 20 points was D. Wayne Phillips. The third man in double figures for Delta was Eddie Phillips with 10 points. 6 points in the game for Nakia Harris on a couple of three-point shots. 2 points for Mosby, Cleve Mosby, the 5'9" freshman, and 1 point in the game for Don Love. Individual scoring now for Wabaseka. As the individual scoring this ball game for Wabaseka, it was Stacey Harris leading the way with 33 points. After that, scoring 13 points was George Barnes. 11 in the game for Freddie Colclaver. After that, scoring 4 points was Stephen Harris. And 2 points apiece was Wendell Gaddy, along with Gianardo Grant. So the final score, 68-67. Delta with a dramatic game and a dramatic shot by Ferdinand de Griffin Reed goes now to the semifinals. With the win, Delta runs their record now on the season to 29-3, and Wabaseka, a great year. They finish up at 35-6. Our post-game show will continue in just a moment, right after this word on CSN. Final score tonight, 68-67, as Delta comes up with a big victory defeating Wabaseka. We're now speaking with the coach of the Delta Ball Club. And Coach, how do you feel?
Well, I feel like a miracle's happened. The Griffin Reed kid come through at the end. You know, they missed some free throws going down the stretch, and we kept fighting and we stayed in the ball game. You know, that's all I can ask my kids. I want them to play hard. And we come out a little flat tonight, but they come around the second half a little bit.
Folks, that's an elated Steve White, the outstanding coach in his first year at Delta. What do you think? Has this been kind of like a Cinderella year for you, Coach?
It really has. You know, we had a lot of trouble to start the season. You know, we had some conflicts and we worked them out, you know, and ended up we got going down the stretch, and I couldn't ask for the kids to do any more than they've done.
How good is de Griffin Reed?
I hadn't seen any guards in yet that can play with him, and I think of course, I hate to brag on him that much, but put the pressure on, but, you know, you don't see many guards that good.
Are you ready for West Memphis?
Well, I think our kids will be pumped up now. We were a little flat, and I think they'll come out and really play West Memphis.
Coach, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
All right, that's Steve White, the head basketball coach, the outstanding coach for the Delta Warriors. They win it 68-67. We'll be back with a final comment from the Ferris Center in just a moment. This is the boys' high school overall basketball tournament on CSN.
I don't know if you'll remember me, but I'll never forget you. I'm Mr. Signorelli's daughter. I didn't think about what would happen if he went into cardiac arrest. I didn't realize that at 6 a.m., a nurse would call the shots and save his life.
If you have the smarts and the guts to study biology, chemistry, anatomy, and psychology, call 1-800-962-NURSE. If caring were enough, anyone could be a nurse.
Randy Travis on strings. Branford Marsalis on the horn. Paul Schaefer on keys. Carly Simon on lead. There are a lot of different parts to play in the American Red Cross. Play your part.
An exciting game back here tonight at the Ferris Center. At the end of one quarter, Delta led by 3, 16-13. At halftime, Delta by 3, 32-29. It was tied through 3 quarters at 45 all, and Delta with a big shot, a 21-footer head of the circle by Ferdinand de Griffin-Reed, won it for Delta 68-67. That means Delta will be facing West Memphis in the semifinals of this boys' overall basketball tournament Friday night. Airtime 8:20 with a tip-off at 8:30. And you can hear that game over at many of these CSN stations. This broadcast tonight was authorized under the written consent of the Arkansas Activities Association, and any other use, rebroadcast, or permission of this game without the express written consent of the Creative Sports Network is prohibited. Air personnel for the game was approved by the Creative Sports Network. For a cassette copy of this game, send $10 to Creative Sports Network, P.O. Box 1266, Conway, Arkansas, zip code 72032. And for a VHS video cassette copy of this game, send $20 to Creative Sports Network, P.O. Box 1266, Conway, Arkansas. The zip code is 72032. Tonight's game has been engineered back at CSN Control by John Hayes. Our technical director here at the Jeff Ferris Center tonight has been Brett Joyner, and our statistician has been Louis Ambers. And the flagship station of the Creative Sports Network is KTOD 92.7 FM in Conway. Now speaking for our statistician Louis Ambers, this is Mike Harrison saying once again the final score in the boys overall basketball tournament game tonight. It was Delta 68, Wabaseka 67. So long for the Creative Sports Network in Conway, Arkansas.